Hello, my name is Widad Elouataoui. I am a PhD student in the University of Ibn Tufayl, and today I will present our work entitled Metadata Quality Dimensions for Big Data Use Cases, carried out by myself, Dr. Imane Alaoui, and Professor Youssef Gahi. We are going to start our presentation by a brief introduction to big data. Then we're going to talk about the problematic related to metadata quality issues in big data systems. Also, we will define the most common metadata quality dimensions. Then we're going to discuss the existing studies related to our topic. Moreover, we will present the metadata quality issues raised in big data systems and some solutions as well. And finally, we will finish this presentation with conclusion and sharing some future works. Metadata is as essential as data since it contains information needed to understand and effectively use data. Metadata management is a crucial component in big data systems where data goes through a process of multiple stages before being used, also known as the big data value chain. Thus, after generating data, data is gathered from multiple data sources. The gathered data is usually unstructured and heterogeneous. Therefore, data needs to be preprocessed before being stored and analyzed. After data analysis, the obtained results are visualized and could be shared for external use. In each stage of this process, metadata are highly used to store all relevant information about data such as quality, resource type, provenance, and other technical details. The emergence of big data has raised new challenges related to its particular characteristics called big data Vs. So big data is characterized by a big volume of data, a variety of data sources and types, a high velocity and veracity, a specific vocabulary. The emergence of big data has raised new issues related to data quality and metadata quality as well. The collected metadata in big data environments is usually not well structured, inconsistent, and of poor quality. Also, it may contain some errors such as empty fields, duplicated records, or conflicting values. Such metadata could not support data analytics and are likely to lead to biased results. Therefore, enhancing metadata quality is highly required for an effective and reliable data analysis. It is worth noting that metadata quality is highly related to the different phases that metadata goes through, since metadata quality loss and degradation can occur in any metadata processing phase. Metadata quality could not be addressed without considering its main characteristics, called metadata quality dimensions. Many quality dimensions were defined in the literature. Here we present the most common dimensions that we have grouped into four aspects, which are usability, reliability, availability, and regularity. So, concerning the related works, we have grouped the existing studies into two major categories. Indeed, there are some studies that have tackled metadata quality by introducing new metadata quality dimensions, defining some metrics to measure the quality of metadata. Other authors have even suggested relevant frameworks to assess and improve metadata quality in different domains. So, all this research have made a significant contribution to metadata quality enhancements. However, they have not addressed the metadata quality issues that could be raised in big data environments. So, given the particular characteristic of big data, ensuring metadata quality in a big data project is more challenging and requires a more specific and in-depth study. However, very few initiatives have been conducted to address metadata quality in a big data context. Indeed, the few available studies that have tackled metadata quality in a big data context are limited to the metadata processing and storage management and do not address metadata quality issues. Also, there are some studies that have tackled metadata quality but in a particular big data application domain such as digital libraries, health, and thus do not deal with the subjects as a whole. So, we aim in this study to highlight how the particular characteristics of big data could impact the most common metadata quality dimensions, namely usefulness, completeness, accuracy, consistency, shareability, and timeliness. Moreover, we will propose some solutions to overcome the presented issues. So let's start with usefulness. When data is collected, the gathered metadata attributes may be associated with the original context of data use and thus not relevant to the current environment. Therefore, the accumulated metadata attributes must be cleaned and filtered to keep only useful and valuable information. Besides, in a big data context, data are usually gathered from multiple data sources. This could lead to metadata redundancy, since data sources use different standards and terminologies to rename the metadata attributes. Thus, a redundancy check must be performed on selected parameters before embarking on the data analysis using data mapping and similarity measures. For completeness, the gathered metadata is usually insufficient for the intended purpose and lacks contextual information related to the data source and the collection process. Moreover, some missing information may not be specified in the original context because they are considered assumed or not helpful. So you can use a metadata model also or attribute a clarity and completeness score to each parameter to assess metadata completeness. Concerning accuracy, big data comes from multiple data sources that are not always credible and may contain inaccurate and not factual values. So this calls into question the reliability of the information provided in the metadata. So knowing the provenance of metadata could already offer an excellent basis to make quality judgments, like which organization the metadata comes from, how well they are an expert on metadata standards, what transformation were applied to metadata. So all this information should be considered when assessing metadata accuracy. Also, accuracy could be assessed using machine learning and record linkage algorithms. Concerning consistency, one of the most common characteristics of big data is variety. So this characteristic refers to the heterogeneous aspects of big data from various data sources and incorporates different data types. This aspect also applies to the gathered metadata since the data sources use different metadata standards and terminologies depending on the data and the organizational policy. Thus, one of the most critical issues to address when handling big data is to convert the gathered metadata that is usually unstructured and heterogeneous into uniform and consistent metadata. Therefore, it's highly recommended before collecting data to define the standards and schemas used, especially for critical variables. Also, the impact of such anomalies and on the potential use of data should be determined. Concerning shareability, shareable metadata is metadata that does not lose its quality and could be effectively used outside its local environment. Ensuring metadata shareability will significantly contribute, especially in a big data era that consists mainly of aggregating data from multiple resources. To enhance metadata shareability, it is highly recommended to use ontologies while structuring metadata. Indeed, ontologies provide a formal representation of metadata attributes with their properties and the relationships that hold between them. Thus, using ontologies allows presenting metadata in a more readable and machine processable format, promoting metadata discoverability and enabling automatic metadata processing. Finally, we have timeliness. So one of the essential characteristics of big data is variability. This characteristic sheds light on the dynamic aspects of continuously updated data as new information becomes available, such as IoT and social media. Therefore, metadata should also be regularly updated on every change of data. Therefore, metadata that needs to be updated should be determined when establishing the metadata model. Also, an assessment of the risks associated with metadata availability and the use of an outdated metadata should be performed. So, ensuring metadata quality is of a great importance since it directly impacts data quality and thus the reliability of the extracted insights. Thus, the purpose of this work was to highlight the quality issues related to metadata in big data environments. The study analyzed each big data characteristic impacts on the most common metadata quality dimensions. Also, some recommendations to address the raised issues have been suggested, and as a future work, we aim to propose a novel quality framework for big data that addresses the metadata quality issues raised in this paper and implements the suggested solutions. Thank you for your attention.